I've been running AI tools in my dev workflow every single day for over a year. And on June 1st, the most popular one fundamentally changed how it charges you. Most developers didn't see it coming. In this video, I'll break down exactly what happened with GitHub Copilot's billing, in plain numbers, no hype, which features are still free, where the market actually sits in June 2026, and the specific workflow I'm running today that costs less and gets more done. The part that will surprise most developers is in Chapter 2, what GitHub didn't change. I'll show you that. Stick around. June 1st, GitHub officially switched GitHub Copilot from a flat-rate subscription model to token-based billing, what they're calling AI credits. The response on GitHub's own community forum? More than 900 downvotes. Now, before you make any decisions based on that reaction, it's worth understanding what actually changed, because a lot of the outrage is missing something important. Let's start with the real numbers. Here's the new model. Your $10 Pro plan now comes with 1,000 AI credits per month. 1 credit equals 1 US cent. So in theory, you're getting $10 of AI usage for $10. I'm on the Pro Plus tier myself, $39 a month for 7,000 credits. The math scales, but so does the burn rate, which is where this gets problematic. That math checks out until you understand what burns those credits, because not everything does. And there's one more change to flag before we get into that. GitHub deprecated GPT 4.1 across all Copilot experiences on June 1st. That's chat, inline edits, ask mode, agent mode, and code review. If you had a specific reason to be on GPT 4.1, that option is gone. Now, here's what I think is the core issue with the developer reaction. The complaint isn't really the price. Most developers aren't going to exceed their credits under normal usage. The complaint is unpredictability. With a flat rate, you know exactly what you're spending. End of month, same number. With a credit system, it depends on what you do, which model handles it, how long your prompts are. If you're in the middle of a sprint and you run out of credits, you're blocked until the cycle resets. That shift from certainty to method uncertainty is what's driving the frustration, and it's a legitimate concern. Here's the part the outrage is mostly missing, and it matters a lot for how you actually respond to this. GitHub Copilot across all paid plans still have code completions unlimited. Ghost text, the inline suggestions that appear as you type. Next, edit suggestions. These are the original features that made Copilot the tool it became, and they are not metered. You can use them all day, every session, without touching a single credit. What does burn credits? 3 things. Chat, asking Copilot questions in the sidebar panel. Agentic workflows, using agent mode to run multi-step tasks. And code review, having Copilot review your pull requests. So, the honest question to ask yourself is, where am I actually spending my AI time? If your workflow is mostly ghost text completions, with the occasional chat question, this change probably barely touches you. If you've been leaning heavily on agent mode for multi-step tasks, long prompts, complex refactors, PR reviews, you will feel it. In my case, this change will be painful because I had already built an arsenal of reusable prompts. At this point, I can no longer use them in a financially sustainable way. Knowing that distinction is what lets you make an informed decision, rather than just reacting to the forum sentiment. Which brings me to what the broader market looks like right now. The Copilot billing change doesn't happen in isolation. The AI coding tools landscape in June 2026 looks genuinely different from 6 months ago, and I think it's useful to zoom out. According to JetBrains' AI Pulse survey, a globally representative study of over 10,000 professional developers, Claude Code now has the highest product loyalty metrics on the market, a CS8 score of 91% and an NPS of 54. For context, NPS runs from -100 to +100. A 54 is exceptional for any developer tool. In terms of actual workplace adoption, Claude Code and Cursor are now tied, both used for work by 18% of developers globally. Copilot is still the most widely adopted at 29%, but here's the important detail. Its growth has stalled. Awareness has stopped growing. Adoption has stopped growing. The momentum is clearly shifting, and the speed of Claude Code's rise is striking. It went from roughly 3% adoption in mid-2025 to 18% by January 2026. That's a 6 times increase in 6 months. Cursor has crossed $2 billion in annualized revenue. They've introduced parallel agents. You can run up to 8 agents simultaneously, each working on a different part of your code base through a visual dashboard they call Agents window. If you've been following Windsurf, it rebranded to Devin Desktop on June 2nd, 2026. Cognition retired the Windsurf brand, shifting the default interface of the IDE to the Agent Command Center so users can manage multiple local and cloud agents. Additionally, the original local agent, Cascade, was replaced by Devin Local, which was rewritten in Rust for better efficiency. And it's not just the subscription tools shifting. The free and open source side of this market had its own earthquake this spring. One of the most loved open source coding agents, RuCode, shut down completely on May 15th and had its GitHub repo archived. Its own team pointed users toward Klein and a fork called Kilo Code. And there's a third contender, OpenCode, that quietly became the most starred open source coding agent on GitHub, north of 160,000 stars, running entirely in the terminal. Here's the number that I think reframes the whole conversation. According to the latest research, developers today use an average of 2.3 AI tools simultaneously. Not one, not a winner takes all, 2.3, which means the question is never really which tool is best. The question is, what is each tool best at and how do you combine them? That's what the next section is actually about. In the next video, I install 2 completely free open source AI coding agents that drop into VS Code right where Copilot Chat sits, and I run a real task on them for $0. If a free Copilot alternative is useful to you, hit subscribe and tap the bell so it lands in your feed the moment it's live. Let me show you how this actually works in practice. At the center of my current setup is a file called AGENTS.md. This is a convention that's built into Claude Code, a markdown file you commit to the root of your repository that tells every AI tool in your workflow about the project, the architecture, the tech stack, the conventions, what not to do, and why. The reason this matters is context. The biggest productivity tax in any AI-assisted workflow is re-explaining your project at the start of every session. What you're building, what stack you're on, what the rules are. AGENTS.md eliminates that cost. You write it once, commit it to the repo, and every tool that supports it reads it automatically. Claude Code reads AGENTS.md automatically when you start a session. From the first prompt, it already knows the project context. No briefing required, no copy-pasting architecture notes into a chat window. Now, here's how I'm dividing the work between tools. Claude Code handles the long-form, multi-step agentic tasks. Refactoring a module that spans several files, writing a test suite for a new feature, debugging something complex that requires holding a lot of context at once. These are tasks where reasoning matters more than raw speed. And this is where Claude Code's 46% satisfaction rating shows up in practice. GitHub Copilot handles keystroke level completions, ghost text, inline suggestions, function signature completion, boilerplate. These are still unlimited on any Copilot plan, and they are genuinely excellent at this job. The result? I'm spending far fewer AI credits on Copilot because I'm not asking it to do the heavy agentic work anymore. That goes to Claude Code where it performs better anyway. My completions usage doesn't touch the credit bucket, and the agentic tasks are handled by a tool that was designed for exactly that job. 2 tools. 1 shared briefing file, each doing what it's actually best at. Quick recap before you go. GitHub Copilot switched to AI credits on June 1st. Code completions are still unlimited, but chat, agent mode, and code review are now metered. The developer community is frustrated, mostly about predictability, and that's a fair concern. I was on GitHub Copilot Pro Plus with 3,500 premium requests a month. Enough to cover my full workflow. I planned everything around it. Then came the switch to 7,000 credits, and I ran out in 6 days. Higher number, worse outcome. I won't pretend that didn't sting. The market has moved fast. Claude Code is the top-rated tool by satisfaction right now. Cursor is running parallel agents. Windsurf rebranded to Dev in Desktop. The average developer uses 2.3 tools, and the smartest response to all of this isn't to pick a winner. It's to build a hybrid workflow where each tool does what it's designed for, anchored by a shared agents.md file that keeps everything in sync. Part 2 takes this further. I installed 2 completely free open source AI coding agents that drop into VS Code right where Copilot Chat sits, and I run a real task on them for $0. Link is right there when it drops. Subscribe so it lands in your feed the day it goes live.